Outdoor wood boilers are devices that people have mainly in rural areas near their home to provide a source of heating for the home. They burn wood and other combustible materials with a very short stack and create a lot of smoke, but can be an affordable way for people, especially in rural areas, to heat their homes.
I had an outdoor wood boiler because the cost, save money on power.
We used to have to come out and decide what tree was dying and cut the tree down and cut it up and then figure out how to get it back up to the wood burner. Use a splitter, so there's always mechanics that has to be, dealt with. Buying chains, oil and gas for the chainsaw.
You're gonna be working your tail off all summer, splitting and stacking wood, and then also working all winter, loading the wood stove. They don't advertise all that stuff when they're trying to sell you one. They're just telling you about all the benefits as far as, your heat bill is gonna be low and all that stuff.
I would go to the pile of wood and load up the stove. And my problem is I had breast cancer 18 years ago. And number one, I'm not really supposed to be lifting up heavy logs of wood, but in the back of my mind is the heavier it is, the longer it'll take for it to burn out. And so I would load it up.
It sometimes became a family affair where the teenagers were helping carry and stack and load and, hey, can you go check the wood boiler, and stuff like that. So it was, I don't know, is the word arduous kind of strong, but it was hard work.
It's a lot of work. The one thing I did not like is, when I have to go out there and you open the door and then you suck up a lung full of, wood smoke and, heading to work smelling like wood smoke all the time.
It was not something that we really wanted to do, but for our circumstances and it was what we had to do.
I was ready for something different. It didn't fit into my life anymore. It was more of a hassle than it was more of a hindrance than it was good. When I first got it, I liked it. It was all good, but I had gotten tired of it. I was ready.
These devices pose a threat to the environment and people's health because they're, number one, located very close to homes, and while they're fairly small devices, they have very short stacks, and given how close they are to where people live and their kids play, the smoke, if the wind is blowing in the right direction, can blow directly into the home.
We live in the allergy belt here in northern Indiana. There are a lot of allergens there. Now, in addition to that, we have a high incidence of cigarette smoking. So that plus we have steel mills around, and so I think if you combine all these factors together, then the incidence of asthma and COPD are quite high.
There are many people who are suffering day to day with asthma, COPD, and other types of lung disease, lung cancer, and this reduces the local sources of pollution in their area that tends to be trigger for those types of diseases.
Particulate matter that's produced by an outdoor wood-burning stove has a number of health issues. For instance, asthma, chronic bronchitis, decreased lung function, difficult or painful breathing. These are things that we really want to get rid of, and getting rid of outdoor wood-burning stoves achieves that.
So it's really important that we look at alternative energy sources that can heat homes, that can heat the water source for the individual consumers.
We've partnered with Hoosier Environmental. We've partnered with EPA and very many different divisions of EPA. We partnered with the Indiana Department of Environmental Management, and we partnered with LaPorte County Health Department, just to name a few. Critical to be successful are good partners.
The program began with Hoosier Environmental Council asking us to find outdoor wood boilers in Indiana. So we did some recruiting through county health departments and tried to find outdoor wood boilers that seemed to be a nuisance in the area. Once we were able to track down the homes that were using outdoor wood boilers, we were able to ask them to apply for the program and replace it with zero emission renewable energy systems, including both geothermal and solar.
A geothermal system is a refrigeration system that absorbs heat from one place and moves it to another. So geothermal systems have a heat exchanger. Whenever the thermostat calls for heating or cooling, a water valve opens up or a pump starts up, and as that fluid at Earth's temperature passes through, we're able to get refrigeration temperatures from 50-degree water coming in, going out 40 degrees. We can get refrigeration temperatures into 160 to 200-degree range.
There were many applicants who applied for this program, but due to funding limitations and all, we were able to get 4 of them, and which is the maximum any county got in the state of Indiana.
I received a letter in the mail, looked like it was too good to be true, sat on it a little bit, and then thought, you know, I'm getting older, I don't want to be out cutting wood, so I'll go ahead and fill this out, just see what happens.
The application was simple, was easy. We did it, we mailed it in. As far as talking to people, communication was world class. It was great.
Before I knew it, I received a letter back saying that I had been granted 100% funding for the geothermal system and the solar panels.
You know, when we got the acceptance letter, that was like, you know, that was the best thing that ever happened.
By implementing the program, we are able to reduce emissions in the state of Indiana by 1.35 tons per year. And our hope would be to expand that to the rest of the U.S.
I mean, the American Lung Association is viewing this exchange program as a model that we can incorporate on a national basis.
Programs that are aimed at reducing or eliminating the pollution coming from these devices, getting cleaner devices in place, or even zero emission devices in place, I think are going to be really important.
So yeah, our objective is to duplicate this program in as many communities as we can.
We'll continue to stay engaged with American Lung Association and other stakeholders to continue to replace these outdoor wood boilers and try to create some incentives for individuals who use this, positive financial incentives to make sure that they continue to replace those, and then that will continue to improve the air quality and decrease emissions.
Our goal is to, number one, help make the consumers aware of these new available technologies, to work with industry and local government to make these affordable and accessible to everyone.